it's up to yourselves. But I did want to ask you about Tottenham because, like, again, not a scintillating performance against Brighton at the weekend, but they were a team that ripped Liverpool apart, and you didn't really give them very many opportunities. You got the job done, third in the league. Are you feeling more and more confident every week that you're definitely making the top 4 again and progressing with him? Or, are you feeling nervous? Some Liverpool, I mean, again, I was listening to Talk Sport over the weekend, 4 or 5 Spurs fans phoning up, still angry at how you're playing. Like, what's your take on things, mate?
I'm fine, man. I knew before the season that we made top 4, and I still feel exactly the same way. There's different ways to skin a cat, and yes,
Conte's got a nervous smile, man. You got a nervous
man.
smile.
I'm good. Look, I'm good. Look. See that?
You're forcing it.
Honestly, I'm perfect. We scored the 3rd most amount of goals in the league, 3rd most wins in the league. Yes, the football isn't scintillating, and it can get better, but the fact is we're still winning games. We're hard to beat. We're hard to break down. It was a tough week for us as well, by the way. Obviously, our coach dying, rest in peace. That was a tough. Even saw Harry Kane come out afterwards. He was literally moved to tears when they asked him about it. So it's been a really tough week. But to beat Brighton away, Brighton, when we played them, were 4th in the league. They beat Man United this year. They got a really good result. Beat West Ham, and obviously scored 3 at Anfield and gave Liverpool a good game. So they're a good team, and we went there. Pretty much shot a shop. Should have beaten them by more than one. Harry Kane was one-on-one with the keeper. You'd expect him to score that, and he dragged it wide. So yeah, of course, the football. Kane, you know what's crazy? Kane's got 8 and 9, but obviously no one's going to talk about it because Haaland's just gone mental. But Kane's in good form.
He is. I was praising him after the game. Spurs fans watching were like confused on the match reaction. They go, "You're praising us." I'm like, I've praised Spurs loads this year. I've just not praised you.
Terry, to be fair, Terry, you are. Even though I don't like your Arsenal, you're going mad with Arsenal, but you do give us credit. So
I know everyone apart from Man United.
but it's Well, I think what Spurs fans have got the issue with is like, I'm scared of Chelsea and Arsenal, what they're doing, and I'm not scared of them. And that's just because I'm not scared of Tottenham. That's the wrong way of putting it. You with Antonio Conte worry me in the sense of you're going to be a very good team while he's there. Just because of Conte's history, I'm not convinced he's going to be there long term. And that's not a dig. That's just I need to see him.
There's positive signs that he will sign an extension,
and he might. But even with a 5-year deal with Antonio Conte, it takes one argument with Levy, and I respect him for this. He's one of those managers that won't put up with crap for 2 or 3 years, like Poch, not as long as that, but Poch seems like he was having arguments for a long time before the straw that broke the camel's back.
Poch was laying down loads of subliminals, but not really all the stuff about the furniture and this and that.
Conte would just say I'm off, but look, you're a very good team, and I to that super chat earlier, I think you're going to make the top 4. Again, I had you 5th and Chelsea 4th originally. I've now gone for Chelsea 5th and you 4th. Liverpool, I thought were going to come first. Actually, I actually thought Liverpool were going to be so strong this year because they were going to bounce back the disappointment. And it hasn't worked. And maybe I listened to their PR a little bit too much, I think, and I was like, oh Jesus. But there we go. I think Spurs will be fine in terms of that top 4 race. Chelsea is still the interesting ones for me because I know. I put out a tweet and I said I think it's 8 goals in 3 games. Everyone's like, well, it's 9 in 4. I didn't really count the first game because that first game for him was in the midst of everything going on with, I don't know, the Queen. I keep mentioning the Queen dying. It was a weird time. You just come in, certain games being postponed, not training, having to play a tough, a European night. Your first game managing your club, first time in the Champions League. It was a little bit difficult, but since he kind of settled and had a little bit of time with his squad, 2 games running, clean sheets, 3 goals. Chelsea are just starting to just purr nicely. And I agree with you, Agal. I think a lot of people have written Chelsea off this year and I think it stems back to Roman being sanctioned. It's once Roman, because the narrative for 20 years has been once Roman leaves, Chelsea go back to being a mid-team. And I think Todd Bowley's doing bits. Like the technical director's good. We all know they've got a good manager. And look at the players are trying to buy still. Like they want to go out in the summer, and they are going to try and get both Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice for that midfield.
No, have Chelsea got the worst manager in the top 6?
One second.
Chelsea.
Have Chelsea got the worst manager in the top 6?
Based
on paper, yes, but he's not a bad manager, if that makes sense. He's unproven. He's unproven at this level, but he's still a good manager, still a very good manager.
I was just going to say this. Without Kulusevski, you're not going to be playing a system with 3 DMs or either Richarlison coming in and taking out one of those DMs. Don't you think that's kind of defensive, or at least like the way it's set up, it's very defensive, and it's like against the bigger teams, it might work, but consistently against smaller teams where you're gonna have to break low blocks, having three DMs and playing that 3-5-2, I don't think it's going to work in the long run. And going into my second thing, you guys have been clinical to a level where Harry Kane and Son have been so clinical that they're up there with some of the best numbers statistically throughout the last 5 years. They're not doing that this year, and I don't think. Does that mean it wasn't sustainable what they're doing, or do you think you're starting to get worried that they might not be able to bail you out as much as they have been over the last couple of years?
The thing is, we don't. First of all, the first point, we don't really play with three DMs. We've played with three midfielders. Last game, I mean, we did it in the Champions League to a degree, but last game was the first time we deployed three in midfield.
All your fans have been calling for it.
Yeah, exactly. They've been calling for it. So, but that's the first time we've done it. So that negates that because we haven't really done it. We did it against Brighton because we knew we'd get overpowered in midfield. It worked, as in we stopped them scoring. Yeah, we haven't been that clinical, but we're still creating chances. I don't think players as good as... Because even though Kane is in good form, he's missed a lot of chances this year as well. He's taken a lot of shots. He's missed some that you would expect him to score in previous seasons. Son, for me, is nowhere near his level. He will get better. Kulu will come back. So Richarlison still finding his feet in the Spurs jersey. He's looked good in certain games. He hasn't looked good in other games. So there's still a lot more to come. I'm not really that worried, if I'm being honest, because we're still creating chances. We're still keeping more often than not clean sheets, and we're winning games. So, like I said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. When Conte comes in, sometimes I think fans are a little bit naive and B, ungrateful. You know what kind of system Conte plays and what kind of ball he plays. He's not going to come in and try and play like Arteta or try and play like Jurgen Klopp.
Arteta will be more successful than Conte. Stop it, bro. Arteta will be more successful.
You lot need to do something first. It's all well and good. What have you done? You ain't qualified qualified in the top four. You ain't really done anything yet. I know it's all tongue in cheek, but the thing is, you actually believe it, isn't it? And it's a bit mad. It's a bit mad for you to say that. Conte has won at every league he's been in. He's won major honors. Like, you need to chill. You ain't even qualified for Champions League.
Energy until he is. I will keep this energy.
You need to do something first before you start talking. You're not even. This is the first time you played European football in how long? You didn't even qualify for European football 2 years ago. So please just relax a bit, innit? Like, relax. There's levels, and you're not there yet. You're not there yet.
Conte hasn't done anything with Tottenham, as in lifting a trophy or seeing armpits.
He lifted a trophy. He's only been there since November. He's only been. Let's relax. He's only been there since November, and since he's been there, he outperformed you lot. And we got in the Champions League above you lot. So again, yes, you're having a good run, but please just relax a bit.
I think you're mistaken, my guy. I think you're
mistaken.
I'm
not mistaken at all. What I'm saying is facts, isn't it? What I'm saying is factual, no?
Are you not including this season when you look at form? Are you only including the back end of last season?
No, but I'm saying you're saying what he's done. Last season is done, isn't it? Last season's done and dusted. We finished fourth, you finished fifth. That season's done. We're now 8-9 games into this season.
I believe Tottenham are going to finish above Arsenal this season.
Oh, comfortably, yeah, I do.
I believe Arsenal will finish above Tottenham this season.
That's fine. Well, obviously, you're never going to tell me that that's not the case.
No. I've been on here the last couple times that we did top fours. I genuinely believed that Tottenham could finish above us, but the way that we're playing and the way that we've started this season, and now the way that you guys are playing and the way that you started this season, I genuinely do believe that this year will be the year that we see St. Tottenham's Day again.
Okay, all right, we'll see. I hear this every
other year. We'll see what happens with that one. I know eye test has come for Igal here. We've got to put this up. He says, Igal is embarrassing us level-headed gooners. You're a Man United fan. He says, you're a Man United fan, eye test. Stop the hyperbole. Arteta and this side haven't done much could be compared to Conte. Just enjoy your top of the league, bruv. It could go away still like in 07, 08. I did get sent a stat.
He was a PSG fan, Terry. Remember last time?
He this guy changes like the weather. Interestingly, I did get sent a screenshot earlier today, and it basically shows. I'm just trying to get on my phone now, and it shows. It's an interesting one. The last time a club started a Premier League season with 8 wins from their first 9 games and didn't win the title, it was Arsenal in 07 and Arsenal in 05. And before that, it was the very famous "I'd love it if we beat them" Newcastle moment. However, I finished the research today. Premier League era only. No one's ever got this many points after 9 games and not made top 4. And no team has ever had this many points after 9 games and not. Even though sometimes you look at the final league table and they look 8-9 points off the top, when you actually remember the seasons, they were in the title race. So Arsenal have set the foundation where no team ever in history has ever done this and not been in a title race. So for me, Arsenal, you've got to be in the title race now because you'd be the first team in Premier League history to win this many games in your opening 9 and then fall off so far to not compete for a title.
You already know it, Gal. Gal, you already know that it ain't going to take much for us to find something to banter Arsenal about. So if you don't get in the title race after this, that's what the banter's going to be.
I don't care.
And the third Arsenal side to do it.
I don't care. But I'm just going to ask this. Do you see Leeds beating Arsenal next week?
No, not on paper.
Southampton? No, it's just based on.
No, Gal, but based on, but again, this you've been would you say you've been the best team in the league so far this year?
Yes.
Okay, so based on what you've said, I would say right now, if you said to me right now, barring Spurs away and Man City, I would pick Arsenal as a favourite in nearly every other game. But
no, I wouldn't have the favorite.
And I agree with you. I think we could.
But the point I'm making is, but that isn't how football works.
Yeah,
you're very like
there'd be no point playing.
There would be there's going to be between 5 to 8 games still this season where Arsenal go into it. You go, this is the banker, and you draw. Man City, look who they've dropped points to this year, and look who they've beat. Like no one predicted they were going to drop points to Villa or to not Crystal Palace, Newcastle, but they did. So. You're there or thereabouts. I think you will be in this title race. I don't, because one thing I do disagree with, people keep talk about Arsenal like they're playing at their absolute maximum. They've still got a lot of young players that are making mistakes. Saliba made one yesterday. Gabriel's pretty much been responsible for about 50-60% of your goals this season. I think they're going to get better. I think Arsenal have got another level to go to still. So I don't kind of believe that everyone else is playing beneath themselves and Arsenal are at full pelt max. But yeah, it's going to be intriguing. But there we go.
I said this a lot of times. Stop telling people how to be fans, because when people were Arteta out, I was saying, you know what, do what you want to do, right? Do what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you how to be a fan. I'm going to be a fan this way. But now that we're winning, people are still trying to police fans. Stop trying to police fans.
Who's trying to police fans?
No, not you, not anyone on the stream.
But who? In what way though? How are they policing you?
In the sense that we're winning, and it's like it's only 9 games. You need to relax. You need to calm down. You can't get ahead of yourself. You can't get ahead of yourself. But then people like Colleen can say, "Oh, I think I'm going to win the league," and she's going to get cast out. And I don't think that's policing fans. Policing fans is you can't celebrate after a game. Most people saying you've got to calm down is because they don't believe that you're going to maintain this. That's why are they? What you got to ask yourself is, why is someone saying that? When people don't want to see you celebrate, it's because they're annoyed you've won. When you're top of the league and again, I think we might win the league. I'm giving an example here, and someone says, "Listen, I think you've got to calm down. There's a long way to go." As of now, ask them why they're saying that, and they'll say, because I don't think Arsenal are good enough to win the league or challenge. So that's not policing fans. I think that's an opinion on how good or bad Arsenal fans are. But you're always going to get rivals, especially police you. That's kind of our job as rivals. Like, you do it, bruv. You sit there and tell everyone where their teams are. But you know what I mean? I think that's just normal, bruv. But there we go. But yeah, Colleen's having fun with it. There we go.